Hey everybody, welcome to day 2, Breakfast with Bob from Day 2 of Challenge Roth. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Outrigger, Kona Resort and Spa. Stay longer, save more. And of course our Challenge Athletes Foundation. We've now raised $191 million and sent out 52,000 grants to challenged athletes all over the planet. What a way to kick off day 2, but with the 2014 Ironman World Champion, Challenge Roth Champion. Really one of the few people who's won 70.3 World Championship, Challenge Roth, and Ironman World Championship. That's right, baby. Mr. Sebastian Kienle. The crowd is going nuts.
It's crazy. It's going crazier. It's hundreds and thousands of people. You managed to pick the only couple of minutes.
Yes.
Of boredom, probably in the next 5 days. So it's awesome to be here.
When we go through every year, we go through like the sound bites from the history of Breakfast with Bob. Go back is like the best line of all time, always at the time, is there's a thin line between being fit and being fucked, and that is the Sebastian Kienle line. Yes, I love it. So, being back here, a race you've won, a race you've been a part of for so many years, how nice is it, one, to come and know that you don't have to be racing it?
Actually, really nice, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, it has been spectacular to watch the other guys race, to commentate on the other guys' races, and I see the splits and I see them race, and I know, hey, I absolutely picked the right time for my retirement.
Exactly.
Could not have been better. I mean, that last time in Kona, where I finished, I think 6th.
Yes.
That was just perfect to end my career at championship level, and have this last year where I kind of did a world tour, raced a couple of races I've never done before. It was a good way to retire, and I have no bad feelings whatsoever. And I think that's really important, because a lot of people, a lot of athletes, they can't really pick how they retire. Right. And when they retire, often they retire due to injuries, due to burnout or something like that. And then some of them wish, I would have loved to, do a comeback, and then they come back, but they are not as good anymore. And it's kind of a sad story. So yeah, I had a great ending, so no bad feelings whatsoever.
Well, really, unless you're Mark Allen and you finish your career by winning your 6th Ironman and drop the microphone and go, I'm done. How many people have a career that ends exactly the way you want it to end on a huge win?
It's actually, you know what, I think I would not even, I think if I would have won the race, the chances would have been pretty high that I would have tried another time, you know?
You would have,
because then you're still on the top of the game. You think like, why should I retire, right? I mean,
boom, I'm still there.
I'm in the middle of the universe of triathlon, so why should I move? I think it's more likely that you get moved and get retired from other guys. So it was a good mix, and I'm happy.
And look at the era that you kicked off with. You winning in 14, and then Jan winning 15, 16, Patrick 17, 18, Jan 19, and then Patrick again in 2024. The Germans dominating in Kona for all those years. Did you have a sense that, I mean, you knew of Jan, you knew of Patrick. Did you have a sense that you guys were going to be not so much dominant, but a factor?
With Jan, yes. With Patrick, to be honest, not so much.
Yeah.
I didn't had him on the radar for a very long time. It would have been a lie, even after he won that race in Texas, his very first long course race under very hot conditions.
Yes.
I think, and until today, he is the most underrated and always being an underdog, even with three-time world champion.
Yes.
And that's probably also the secret sauce when it comes to Patrick racing world championships. You always kind of underestimate him a little bit.
Yes.
And that's a mistake. I mean, the most athletes are probably not doing that, but we are still doing it probably.
Yeah, well, and it's true, because I don't think he was ever he certainly wasn't a favorite the first time he won, even though he got in 3rd the year before. He was a favorite to be in the mix, but not to win the race.
Yeah, and that's, when it comes to German legacy, I think Jan, of course. I mean, everybody had Jan on the radar, so that wasn't really a surprise so much. But yeah, to have the depth, that's something I didn't expect. And even now, you have definitely a lot of guys that are able to follow those footsteps.
Right.
I'm pretty confident about that.
So it's interesting. Last year when I was doing research for Kona, and you start looking through people's splits, and I'm looking at Hamburg, and I'm looking at people I'd never heard of before. Melo Koolhaas. Melo Koolhaas. And I'm like, wait, he swam 47, 48. He rode 4 hours, and he ran 2:38. And I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be you sort of knew. Now these guys are coming in when they're 20, 21, 22, no fear, and raw speed to the moon. Is it? You've seen the same thing, right? It's just like people are sort of coming out of nowhere.
I mean, you were probably inviting 5 people to breakfast with Bob. Now you can invite 25 easily,
25,
and you're probably
50.
still missing out on the favorite. Now working on the other side of the fence and commentating on a race. That's exactly what happens, right? You have to prepare like
out of nowhere. Yes.
Oh Jesus, it's really tough to prepare and know everybody, because like you said, there is at least now I would say 10 guys that are capable of running a 2:35 marathon in an Ironman or long course race. It's crazy. I mean, it's the best time to spectate the sport. It's the best time for the sport. It's not so much the best time in the sport if you are a professional and not up to that very high level.
Well, and from a professional perspective, with PTO and T100,
absolutely,
with Challenge, with Ironman, it's probably the best. Yeah, there's way better era in terms of, because guys are getting. I'm guessing that Ironman never came to you and said, "Hey, if you do a bunch of our Ironman races this year, we'll give you $200,000."
I mean, you have to look at it in, let's say, 2 different ways.
Okay.
So the best athletes, they always got paid from Ironman. That's for sure. I mean, the appearance money to do a race like Frankfurt as an Ironman World Champion or as a defending champion in Frankfurt always was a good payday.
Yes.
But I always, I like the idea of the Ironman Pro Series. I was always advocating it since. I mean, we had the Kona Pro ranking, right? And but there was no payday or no prize money to be in front of the Kona Pro ranking. But I think it's much better to put the money there and let everybody race for it instead of paying 2 select people, because that creates an interesting race. And we have seen that in Frankfurt. It was amazing in Frankfurt, right? I mean, it was one of the best races I've spectated, even if the usual suspect won the race at the end. But the way there, it was super interesting. And that's great for the sport. And that's great for the athletes as well, because that what brings the excitement, the media, the attention with the media, and therefore the sponsors and the money.
Well, and with what PTO and T100 has done by giving people, hey, if you commit to X number of races, you're getting a payday. And it doesn't keep you from going and doing other things, but it gives people a base of salary to keep them in the sport.
Yeah.
Because my gut was, if PTO didn't come around in 2020, a lot of pros would not still be pros. They would have gone away.
Oh, I think so, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to have the PTO there, to have Challenge, obviously, here. And but then on the, I think also the atmosphere amongst the organizers, it definitely got better since Scott took,
Scott
the CEO. I think now there is at least a common sense. Okay, we want to grow the sport. We want to develop the sport.
Let's work together, collaborate.
And of course, it's like the athletes, right? I mean, you all want a fair race. You all want to win. So, but there's a line that we don't want to cross, and that's also now with the organizations and the races. That first and foremost, it's about the sport, and it's about the athletes, and then it's about the competition amongst all the races and organizers.
So, when you win Kona in 2014, how did that change your world?
Well,
everything.
Yeah, I mean, in the sport of triathlon, it's not that you become a hero overnight. You know, I mean, I won 70.3 World Championships twice before I won the Kona title.
Yeah.
So it's not like soccer where you should shoot that amazing goal, or probably football where you throw that one pass and you'll be the absolutely superstar. That's not the case. It takes a long time to develop. So therefore, you at one point you know that you're capable of winning a race like that. So you're kind of prepared. But obviously, Kona is still a race where you kind of move outside the nutshell of triathlon, especially in Germany. So there's a lot more mainstream media attention. Yes. But I was kind of prepared for it, and it's a friendly environment with the sport. You know, it's not like soccer or football or something like that where if you like one team, you kind of hate the other team. I mean, you can be a fan of Jan Frodeno and Sebastian Kienle and Patrick Lange because you're a fan of the sport, and so you want them all do well to have an exciting race. That's possible in triathlon.
So you could be friends with Jan when you're both going head to head, going, we're both going to no.
Yeah, no.
You could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Not
because you can't really. You can't. Right, but you can't control his race. He can't control your race.
No.
That's what makes our sport so special.
And actually, for me, it was a good thing most of the time because Jan also took a lot of stress away. You know, because he was always the man to beat. So, you know, that's a position that's actually quite tough, you know, and I didn't want to change with him, so I was happy with where I am most of the times.
the race where you and Jan were running along a drive together. That was one of my favorite memories of Kona. Just seeing the two legends running together.
For me as well, for the first, let's say, 12K, and then it was not very favorable moment anymore. But That
is so fun. And what will you be doing here at Challenge Roth?
I work for Ministry. It's a sport nutrition company based in Germany. I know them for a long time. They've partnered with Laura Philipp for a long time. And that's the main thing this year. And then I'm commentating the race on Sunday for the international live stream together with Belinda. Really looking forward to that.
And you've flowed so quickly and so easily from the racing side to commentating. You enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the right dose of triathlon for me. You know, I still love the sport, but I've done it 24/7 for 30 years. You know,
30 years.
I mean,
you started when you were a young kid.
Yeah, I started when I was 8 years old, and pretty early on, the sport just like consumed my life, and I wanted it that way. You know, I wanted to give everything for the sport. And as every professional knows, like it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop with the training, right? You constantly think about the sport and what you can do better and how you can recover better, and so on and so on. So now it's priorities definitely shifted a little bit, but I like the way how I'm involved with the sport, and I still have a challenge or two outside of the sporting world. So I'm also looking forward to that.
And probably the most important thing is tomorrow is your little boy's 4th birthday.
Absolutely. Born on 4th of July, man.
He's going to go, Daddy, when I turn 18, I'm moving to the States.
Yeah, probably. They're going to celebrate my birthday there.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Exactly. So, but you go home for the birthday and then come back.
Yeah, I do. I have to. I mean, I swear to myself, like, I mean, if there is not a really, really, really good reason to miss a birthday, I'll definitely make it until it's 2 figures, and then we'll see if he still likes Daddy to be around on his birthday. But until then, I'll make the effort.
Are there times when you're watching where you're thinking, I should be out there, I could still do this?
I could still do this? No, definitely not. I still
That's
do
good.
I still do enough to know that I can't do it anymore. But do I sometimes wish I would be there? Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, the feeling is just there's nothing else in that I can imagine that comes close to that feeling of, you know, crossing a line like here in Roth, winning the race. You know, it's just like, oh, man. But the good thing is I did it. I kind of
it's in there forever, right?
I tried to to save it, and so
I love it.
Memories, man. That's what it's all about
It's
at one
all
point.
about that. Congratulations on everything you've accomplished. And you know what
Thanks.
I love is
Thanks, Bob.
when people become great ambassadors for the sport. And you, right from the beginning, you knew that there's a fine line how long I'm going to be in the sport as an athlete. But you can be Sebastian Kienle, the legend, the guy who wants that other person to have their best day. You can do that forever.
Absolutely, and I mean that's the thing. Like when I do some sweaty hucks at the finish line, and having the smell of the mix of beer, pee, and sweat. After they did their shower here, that's where I am. Like, there's not a lot of people who know how they feel, and I'm one of them, and that's a privilege. So yeah,
love it. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you squeezing
Thanks,
us in.
Bob.
Have yourself a great...
Yeah, swing by at the ministry booth. I just
We
looking
will.
down there. So
we'll come down for a drink.
Thanks, man.
I love it. Sebastian Kienle has been our guest again, day one. Breakfast with Bob. Hold on. We'll be right back.